The court finds the defendant guilty on all counts.
They can't do that. We need to appeal immediately.
All right, guys, I need you locked in. This is not a legal filing. This is a declaration of war. The New York Attorney General, the self-proclaimed defender of democracy, just had her entire political career detonated by a single, terrifying legal document. New evidence reveals Letitia James is now facing jail time after being definitively exposed in what looks like a full-blown election retaliation cover-up. I need you to fully grasp the stakes because the twist here is cinematic. A group of ordinary American retirees and citizen data analysts uncovered evidence of chaos in the state's election rolls. Instead of transparency, they got branded as criminals. And here is the punchline that should make every citizen of this republic furious. James allegedly weaponized a civil rights-era law, the Ku Klux Klan Act, to crush them. Think about that. A Democrat prosecutor taking a law designed to fight racial terror and turning it into a weapon against citizens asking questions about their vote. And now the entire scheme is collapsing fast. The claim is backed by a lawsuit filed by a civic watchdog group, New York Citizens Audit. They're suing the New York Attorney General and the New York State Board of Elections for a massive conspiracy against civil rights. The charge is simple. These pious civil rights advocates suppressed the speech and suppressed the legal right of New Yorkers to question their government. They don't want elections audited, and they refuse to answer the people regarding their own congressional representation. They tried to attack, defame, and crush citizens who came forward with hard evidence of illegal election misconduct found within James's own state data. The lawsuit is asking for monumental damages and demanding a comprehensive, external, bonded, certified audit of the entire election process. Because, guys, without legitimate representative government, we don't have a country. We have to fight this down to the mat. The mask is slipping in New York. When citizens asked for simple answers about their elections, the state's top law enforcement official didn't offer transparency. She brought the hammer down. If that sounds like lawfare, that's because it is. Here's the plain English version of the federal complaint. New York Citizens Audit alleges that when they tried to present documented irregularities in the state's own official voter database, officials didn't fix the problems, they targeted the whistleblowers. That is not oversight. That is outright political retaliation. So what's the actual claim they're bringing? Conspiracy against civil rights, violating the First Amendment, speech and petition, and violating the Fifth and 14th Amendments, due process and equal protection. The relief they want is common sense. Stop smearing the volunteers, stop weaponizing the system, and perform an independent, bonded audit of the entire election process. And the numbers they cite are terrifying. They claim more than 2 million extra voter ID numbers, hundreds of thousands of ballots with no corresponding voter record, and even signs of algorithmic manipulation within the data. Now, let's be crystal clear. These are allegations inside a federal lawsuit, and they will be tested. But the numbers cited in this complaint are not YouTube rumors. They are pulled directly from the state's own official voter database. According to the filing, we're talking about millions of irregular entries, duplicate IDs, ballots without matching voter records, and, the explosive headline, possible algorithmic manipulation patterns that live inside the state's own public data. If even a fraction of that is true, New York doesn't have a paperwork problem. It has a trust problem. And when citizens sounded the alarm, what did the state do? According to the suit, some officials admitted records were overwritten after 2020, despite federal law requiring preservation for 22 months. Instead of a dialogue, the Board of Elections blasted a statewide memo branding the auditors as bad actors. Then the Attorney General's office sent a cease and desist accusing the retirees and volunteers of intimidation, claims the group calls totally fabricated. And here is the political choreography that reveals the crime. Before the volunteers even saw the letter, the establishment media had it. That is not due process. That is a strategic PR hit designed to destroy reputations before a defense could even be mounted. We've seen this playbook before. The same officials who preach, "protect our democracy," suddenly redefine democracy as "obey our narrative." The same media that swarms any story hurting the opposition goes silent when allegations land on their own team. And the same prosecutors who invent novel theories to chase their political enemies suddenly can't find the time to reconcile basic voter records. Two tiers, two standards, one country getting colder to dissent by the day. Understand the constitutional stakes. The First Amendment doesn't just cover free speech, it covers the sacred right to petition the government for redress of grievances, especially on elections. The moment citizens can question election administration without being threatened by the state, you don't have self-government. You have managed consent. And yes, because I know the trolls will twist my words, lawsuits aren't convictions. Allegations aren't proof. That's exactly why we need audits, discovery, and courts. If the data is clean, prove it. If it's messy, fix it. But smearing citizens and running them through the legal gauntlet just for asking to see the books, that's an admission of fear. Let's talk about Letitia James, the same Attorney General who built a national profile by dragging political opponents through civil courts, now finds herself the target of a federal complaint alleging the direct weaponization of her office against citizen auditors. That irony isn't lost on anybody. If she wants to be the face of the rule of law, she should welcome a transparent records review. Smart, fair leaders don't fear audits. They invite them. They open the doors, put the logs on the table, and let the numbers speak. New York's line is simple. Everything's fine. Move along. But if everything's fine, why the admitted record overwrites? Why the cease and desist blasts? Why the media leaks before the targets even see the letter? That's not confidence. That's criminal choreography. The media silence here tells you everything you need to know. If a conservative AG had sent a chill letter to progressive activists, you would have seen front-page outrage, think pieces, and tears on every panel show. Instead, crickets. Not a sound from the legacy outlets that love to yell disinformation while they run cover for the powerful. Zoom out to you, the viewer. Maybe you're not in New York. Maybe you're in Ohio, Florida, Texas. Here's why this matters. Precedent. If a federal court rules that officials can slap misinformation labels on citizens, sick the AG on them, and avoid scrutiny of election records, that precedent will spread across every state. Every bureaucrat who hates accountability will have a new, approved playbook. Say the word safety, say the word disinformation, and your rights vanish behind a press release. On the other hand, if the court says no, you can't criminalize audits, you can't intimidate petitioners, you can't erase records, then citizens get their voice back and the gate swings open. And that's healthy for everyone, left, right, independent, because free societies run on verifiable truth, not on enforced political narratives. This is not about relitigating the past for clicks. It's about safeguarding the future so that when your candidate wins or loses, you can accept it knowing the system ran clean. Legitimacy isn't a press conference, it's audit trails. The lawsuit demands sunlight at every step, protective orders that preserve data, independent experts with access to logs, and a bonded external audit with results the public can read in plain English. No more trust us. The demand is show us. The court ruling that Letitia James overstepped by branding citizen auditors as criminals will permanently redraw the line between government oversight and political censorship. Let me say something to the officials watching this. If your system is sound, prove it and you'll shut us up with facts. If it's not, then the bravest thing you can do is admit the problem, fix it, and earn back the trust you lost. There is honor in oversight. There is dishonor in cover-ups. Your choice. And to the volunteers, people with binders and laptops who've been mocked by elites, you're doing the hardest work in a free nation, the boring work of accountability. Keep your receipts, be peaceful, be precise, stay inside the law, and never be intimidated by a government letterhead. That letterhead belongs to you. We end where we began. This is not about one politician's ambitions. It's about whether ordinary Americans still have the right to question their government without being branded criminals. If the answer is no, then elections become theater. If the answer is yes, then this case is a turning point back toward truth, transparency, and a country confident enough to check itself. If a citizen group can be smeared, threatened, and criminally investigated for demanding accurate voter rolls, then our system has drifted far, far, far from Madison's vision of self-government. I don't care what party you're in. Sunlight is not partisan. Audits aren't partisan. The Constitution isn't partisan. New York can fight citizens or fix records. It cannot do both. Choose wisely, because the whole country is watching, and the final judgment is coming. And that is the absolute truth, guys. This is the ultimate insider analysis of institutional corruption. If you agree that lawfare must be stopped and that citizens have the right to audit their government, make sure you smash that like button right now and get this video trending. Subscribe to the channel for continuous unfiltered analysis and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next video. And I want to know in the comments, who is more afraid of this audit? The